Welcome back to the Cossy Arsenal channel. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. Christian Mosquera to Arsenal. Here we go. Arsenal have completed the signing of another Spanish international centre-back right from Valencia. And according to Romano, the package is going to be below 20 million euros. Andrea Bata is working magic. I love this guy. I'm already in love with the work Andrea Bata is doing at Arsenal. He's already signing very important players, very important profiles, but the prices are absolutely incredible. He's going for very good prices and very good players. Mosquera, less than 20 million euros. Of course, you've got Gyökeres, less than 80 million euros, and he's doing other deals as well. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Christian Mosquera finally is an Arsenal player. Here we go. Fabrizio has just confirmed. So Fabrizio on his Twitter handle, of course, you know, he's famous. Here we go. He says that breaking story, Christian Mosquera to Arsenal. Here we go. Verbal agreement in place with formal steps to follow. 15 million euros fee plus add-ons. Total package under 20 million euros. Long-term deal in place. Mosquera only wanted Arsenal. Medical ready later this week. If all goes well, Mosquera will do his medicals and will be an Arsenal player. Now, in the morning, I said I wasn't sure whether Mosquera was going to be part of the Arsenal preseason tour. I am changing my mind. On this. He's going to be part of the Arsenal preseason tour. He's going to be part of the Arsenal Asian tour, because this is a done deal. Again, a masterclass by Andrea Bata, a masterclass by Mikel Arteta. Arsenal this summer, they mean business. Yes, we didn't start off very well. The summer didn't start off very well. Liverpool obviously started off very well. Manchester City started better, and Chelsea. But where things are going, this Arsenal team are going to be devastating and very dangerous. Now, The Athletic as well, through David Ornstein, have also confirmed this story. And David Ornstein says there that Arsenal are working to complete the deal to sign defender Christian Mosquera from Valencia, 21-year-old centre-back, in the last year of his Valencia contract. AFC move now very advanced. Personal terms done for Spanish Youth International to make the switch from Spain to Arsenal. And of course, you can get the confirmation as well from the Athletic pages, who also confirmed the same thing, that Arsenal are working to complete the deal for Valencia centre-back Christian Mosquera after everything on player side is already set. So we're getting another centre-back. Now, the first thing I want to say to you is that the arrival of Christian Mosquera 100% means that Kiwior and Tomiyasu will not be Arsenal players. Obviously, we know Tomiyasu has gone. Contract terminated. Arsenal decided that that is the best course of action to happen. But after that, now Kiwior, we are hearing is that he's another player that is actually going to be leaving Arsenal this week. And by the way, credit to Henry Winter. Because since Sunday, Henry Winter has said that Gyökeres is done, and then all these other media outlets and other journalists picked up that story. He also said that Mosquera will be arriving this week. That is done. He's confirmed that as well. And he also talked about Madueke, and Madueke is done as well. Credit to Henry Winter. He's been absolutely spot on when it comes to these deals. But let's discuss the price first for Christian Mosquera, because Fabrizio says that the overall package is going to be below 20 million euros, right? And if you look at his tweet there, he says that Arsenal shall pay 15 million euros guaranteed plus add-ons, which will take the deal to about 18.5 to 19 million euros. But the total package, as wanted by Arsenal quite for some time, is going to be below 20 million euros. Now, for me, if that is not a masterclass, I don't know what is. If that is not a masterclass, I don't know what is. And like I said, this deal was never in doubt. Arsenal were never not going to sign Christian Mosquera. It was all about, can we do the important deals first? And then if we get them out of the way, we can focus on the Christian Mosquera deal. Because that was easy. The moment we agreed personal terms with the player, and got his assurance that he's not going to sign for Leipzig, Leverkusen, Bayern, we were sure he's going to be our player. The price that Arsenal really wanted to pay was not a problem. Valencia were asking for 20 million euros, closer to that, or 25. And Arsenal were like, we have that money, right? We have our principles. We are not going to overpay for a player whose contract is running down. But we have our money, and we are going to pay what we think is right for the player, and the deal is done. So in terms of the price, that is good work by Andre Bata. Because we're getting a replacement for Tomiyasu. Not only Tomiyasu, but we're also getting a quality backup for Saliba. A player who's just young, 21, 22, can also play at centre back, can also play at right back. That is real good value for money. And if you look at the players that are, the clubs that are actually been interested, it shows you the value in Christian Mosquera. I'm sorry to say this. This might hurt a few egos, but I think Christian Mosquera walks into Manchester United and starts every single game of the campaign. I think he walks into Chelsea. I think he walks into Tottenham Hotspur. I think he walks into many of the clubs in Europe right now, and he's a starter. Not in Europe, but in the Premier League. And he's a starter. The only 3 clubs where he's not a starter are Liverpool, Man City, and Arsenal. And maybe, just maybe, right? Maybe Newcastle. Because Newcastle, they've got Steven Botman and Fabian Schär. I like that partnership. It was one of the best partnerships in the Premier League a couple of years ago, right? So Mosquera, the talent is impeccable. The level of anticipation is high in the air, and this is a ceiling. This is a player with a ceiling that we are saying is very high. This guy could be one of the best centre backs in world football. I mean, what a way to replace Tomiyasu. Because Arsenal have gone out there, and you're like, you can't rely on Tomiyasu. You need someone more reliable, but, you know, at the same exact price. Because we brought in Tomiyasu at about 18, 19 million as well. And we've gone and done Mosquera. These signings, Mosquera, Madueke, Norgard, like I said, these are not big signings that are going to excite you. So you're not going to be excited, oh my God, we're signing Mosquera, blah, blah, blah. This is a big deal. You're not going to be very excited. But these are signings that add to the foundation of the team. Think about this. You're building a house, and you have to set the foundation, right? And in the foundation, you've got the ingredients that make up the foundation. You've got water, you've got concrete, which is stones and cement, right? And all that, right? And then there is something, right? As you add the stones, let's say you add the strong stones, and then you kind of add the smaller stones, right? Now, the smaller stones are known as, visible as the big ones, but their role in making sure that your foundation is intact is absolutely, absolutely important. So that is what these signings signify. And they come from the perspective that Arsenal learned a lesson from last campaign. What happened last campaign, we don't want to repeat. We don't want it to repeat itself. Because what happened was Arsenal suffered so many injuries, we didn't have backups. And eventually we suffered as a team. So Mikel Arteta is trying to make sure we get options and we have backups. So Mosquera can play at right centre back, left centre back, and right back. I don't know whether they can play at left back, but I doubt. I really, really doubt, right? So he's a more of a right-oriented centre back, stock right back, and I think Mikel Arteta is now going to be at pace. I don't know, next summer, I wouldn't be surprised for Mikel Arteta to say, I want another centre back. I want to sign another centre back. I wouldn't be surprised. But Mosquera is a needed signing. With or without the departure of Jakub Kiwior, he's a very, very needed signing, especially after Tomiyasu leaving. But how do Arsenal set up with Tucker? How do we set up with Christian Mosquera? That's a big question I've been thinking about. Is he gonna get enough minutes? Because we are being told he has rejected clubs where he would be a guaranteed starter. For example, at Bayer Leverkusen, they have just lost Jonathan Tah, and they have just lost Frimpong as well in the same window. So they have lost 2 of their best defenders this summer. He has a massive chance to go there, develop his talent, develop into a beast of a centre back, and play a lot of the time. Could have replaced Jonathan Tah in that in that centre back partnership alongside what's the the centre back that has been playing alongside Jonathan Tapsoba, right? Edmund Tapsoba. So he could have formed a very good partnership with Edmund Tapsoba at Bayer Leverkusen. And he could have played every single minute under Erik ten Hag. But he has said, no, I want to go to Arsenal and I want to see what is it about with these guys, Saliba and Gabriel. Can I challenge them? And I think that is the mentality of a player that you actually want. Because remember with Dean Huijsen, Arsenal told Dean Huijsen, you're going to play, you're going to have minutes. And Dean Huijsen said, no, Saliba and Gabriel, I can't play. I am not going to get minutes. These guys are monsters. The moment I'm in the team, the moment I'm in the squad, I'm not displacing Saliba and I'm not displacing Gabriel as well. And obviously with Dean Huijsen, he had a better option in Real Madrid. Madrid, a bigger club, they win more. He's got more chances of winning the silverware that he wants in his career at Madrid than at Arsenal. Those are facts. I'm not saying that I'm a Madrid fan. No, I'm an Arsenal fan, and I know if you're a player, you're better off winning at Madrid than at Arsenal, right? So Arsenal, but Dean Huijsen rejected a chance to stay in the Premier League because he thought he wouldn't play football against Saliba and Gabriel. And then enter this guy. This guy's mentality. He said, I want to fight. I want to fight. And I think Mikel Arteta as a manager has evolved a lot from the point of view that right at the moment, he can be that manager that rotates players. We have seen it last season, right? I think he's still developing in terms of rotation. There are times when he plays some players too much. There are times when he plays some players too little. And that actually affects their value, honestly. For example, Zinchenko last season, I think he should have played more in an injury-ridden season. But the whole point is what Mosquera is going to allow Arsenal to do is to minimize injuries to our most important players. There are times when you just play Saliba so much. There are times when you just say play Gabi so much. So that is what Mikel Arteta is trying to do. He wanted someone he could trust. He wanted a centre-back he could trust that if I don't have Saliba, there is a player I can trust. And that was Tomiyasu. The problem with Tomiyasu is that he wasn't always available. Those are two different things, right? Availability and reliability are different. Now, availability is more inclined towards durability, and reliability is more about quality, right? Can the manager trust you? If Saliba is out, can the manager trust you? And what we saw last season is Mikel Arteta is so skeptical about all the defensive options he's got to replace Saliba and Gabi. But with Mosquera, it means that we don't have to wait for our main centre-backs to get injured. We just rotate them. Let's say Saliba, Arsenal winning by 4-0. Take him off, bring on Christian Mosquera. Let's say we are playing Sunderland, play Christian Mosquera. We are playing Burnley, play Christian Mosquera. That is the whole essence of having a bigger squad and a very, very good squad as well. But how will he set up, really? Because I wanted to answer the question, will he get game time? He will get game time. Arsenal have a lot of games, starting with AC Milan in preseason. We've got a lot of games. We've got 4 games in preseason. 4 games. 3 games in Asia. We've got, I think, 3 games as well. 3 games when we come back to Europe, right? So that is Arsenal have 6 games preseason. Then 6 plus 38 in the Premier League. That is 44, right? 44 plus the Champions League 8, right? The 8 in the Champions League, that is 52. 52 plus the 1 game that we must play in the FA Cup, that is 53. And 1 game that we must play in the Carabao Cup, that is 54. So Arsenal have a guaranteed 54 games right from the beginning of preseason until the end of the campaign. And the more Arsenal progress into the deeper stages of the Champions League, Carabao Cup, and the FA Cup, obviously, the more games these players are going to play. So you don't tell me that you expect Gabi, who's just coming back from injury, Saliba, who's also who was injured at the end of the season. You don't tell me that these guys have to play 54 games, 90 minutes each. You don't tell me. And we know that Mikel Arteta is not a big fan of Kivio. We know he's not a big fan of other players playing at centre back. He loves them to play in wider areas, but at centre back, he doesn't trust anyone apart from Tomiyasu, Timber, Gabriel, and Saliba. So that's what Mosquera brings to this Arsenal team: the ability to rotate, flexibility, the security that even if we lost one of our best centre backs in Gabi and Saliba, we are going to have a player that we can actually trust in Christian Mosquera. So the way we would set up with him is very, very easy. I think many of the times when Arsenal are playing in cup competitions, Mikel would love to rotate some players. So let's say the Carabao Cup, you play Calafiori alongside Christian Mosquera. Or let's say in the FA Cup, you play Calafiori or Kivio alongside Christian Mosquera. And even if it's not that, let's say Saliba needs a rest, you're going to play Gabriel alongside Christian Mosquera. It's the easiest way you can think about it. But maybe Arsenal want to play a back three of 3 centre backs. You could have Christian Mosquera, William Saliba, and Gabriel. So if we were to play a back 3, that would also work. And then he could play at right back. We know Mikel Arteta, he turned Ben White into this right back maniac, and he made him one of the best right backs in the Premier League before he rejected a move to the English national team. So again, don't be surprised if Christian Mosquera is played at centre back on the right hand side or at right back sometimes. But Christian Mosquera, welcome to Arsenal.